He saved a drowning girl and didn't know that this act would change his whole life. She opened the door to his house with her key, and the past exploded with confessions. Family secrets, broken hearts, and a child you'll have to fight for. But sometimes love comes when you least expect it, and stays forever. Don't forget to subscribe and like so you don't miss new stories. Damn you all, Nathan Hale breathed out as his phone vibrated for the 4th time in the last 5 minutes. He turned off the sound and glanced out the car window. Pine trees were slowly creeping past the glass. The summer sunset was spreading in pink strokes across the sky. The interior smelled of leather, expensive coffee, and fatigue. "Everything all right, sir?" the driver asked. "Just a day, Ray. A long day." He rubbed his face with his palms. The deal with the French was hanging by a thread. They decided to double the percentage at the last moment and pressed as hard as they could. Of course, he got out of it, as always. But inside, there was an emptiness that neither accounts, nor status, nor millions could fill. "Turn towards the bridge," he said suddenly. "I want to get some air." The car slowed down. And just as the wheels left the asphalt, he noticed movement in the river. "Stop! Ray, slow down!" Nathan rushed to the door, opened it while still moving. He ran to the railing and froze. A figure was desperately floundering in the murky water. He made out long hair, splashes, and then a tiny, thin creature in his hands. Damn! He took off his jacket and shoes, jumped down and dived. The water was icy and murky. He swam blindly until he finally felt a body, light and fragile. A girl. Her fingers clutched the puppy pressed to her chest. He grabbed her, pulled her to the surface. When they got to the shore, the girl couldn't breathe for a long time. She gasped for air like a wounded bird. "Are you okay?" he gasped. "Oh my God, are you crazy?" "Puppy," she croaked. "I couldn't." "Did you jump into the water because of the dog?" She nodded. He looked at the tiny thing in her arms, a white, quivering lump, alive, whimpering. He wanted to curse, but froze when he saw her pressing it to her belly, to the rounded one, visible even through the wet fabric. "Are you pregnant?" She nodded silently. "Do you not want to live at all?" He fell. "I couldn't leave him," she whispered, tears mixing with the river water on her face. "And you are alone? Where do you live?" "Now?" "Nowhere. Sometimes in the basement of the pharmacy. Sometimes on buses." He exhaled. "Okay. So, you're coming with me. We'll get you cleaned up, warmed up, and then we'll sort it out." "Who are you?" she asked apprehensively. "Just a person who happened to be nearby." "Can I take it?" "Of course you can. The puppy is part of the deal." They drove towards the country house. He didn't want to take her to her parents' mansion. They would tear her apart with a look, without waiting for a word. There was only one place, his brother's old house. "Do you have a name?" "Elena." "Elena Rivers." "I'm Nathan. Hale." "Hale, like that one?" "That very one." Silence. When they arrived, Elena looked around the house and froze. "Have you been here?" he asked. "I think I know this house." "In terms of?" "Just show me the door." He reached for his keys and rummaged in his pocket. Empty. Damn it, must have dropped it in the water. "Nothing, I have it." He turned to her. "What?" "The key. Here." She pulled out a thin cord on which hung a key exactly like his. Click, and the door opened. "You mean, I'm not a thief. I'll tell you everything. Just please, let's go inside first. I'm freezing." He let her in. They sat down in the kitchen. The kettle was boiling. "Explain. This house," Gregory showed it to me. Nathan froze. "My brother?" "I was his bride." He didn't find the words right away. Why didn't we know? Because he was afraid of you. He was afraid that you wouldn't accept me. Poor. Homeless. And that's why he kept everything secret. Are you carrying his child? She nodded. He gave me this key. He said I could be here if I ever found myself completely alone. God. I didn't want to break in, but you saw it all yourself. I was just trying to survive. He slowly ran his hand through his hair. Stay. Live here, until I figure out how to settle everything. Your parents, they won't find out. Until they find out. She looked up. Why are you helping me? Because you carry a piece of my brother, because you're human, and because no one should give birth on a cold floor, with a puppy as a pillow. She looked at him for a long time. Thank you, Nathan. He stood up, opened the closet, took out a blanket, and covered her shoulders. And then, he put the puppy on her lap. We will have everything, little by little. But it will be. I just don't understand how you managed to get involved in this, my mother's voice boomed through the speaker of the phone. A stranger, without documents, and with a belly too? Are you crazy? Mom, I asked you not to interfere. Nathan leaned tiredly on the windowsill. Everything is under control. You only have control over negotiations and numbers. Everything else is chaos. She was in the river, Mary, pregnant, with a puppy in her arms. What was I supposed to do? Call the police, or at worst, social services. You know how they work. By the time someone arrives, she would have frozen to death. You're quite the knight, she sighed. Nate, you're kind, but you trust people too much. I just can't throw her back out on the street. And did you think that she might use you? She's carrying my brother's child. Or have you forgotten who Gregory was? There was a pause on the other side of the line. He could almost hear her lips pressed together. You say it as if you are sure that she is telling the truth. He gave her the key to the dacha and brought her here. She knew every corner of the house, and the puppy is attached to her as if he was born in her arms. I don't care about the puppy, and I don't. He hung up. He went to the window. In the garden, Elena was sitting on a wooden bench, wrapped in his gray blanket. The puppy was sleeping on her lap. She stroked his ears, looking thoughtfully into the distance. Who were you talking to? She asked when he went outside. With Mom. Is she furious? Let's put it this way. She thinks I'm an idiot. Maybe she's right? Perhaps, but I have already made my choice. She paused. Then she looked at him with a slight smile. Thanks for not kicking me out. I just want you to be safe until everything is cleared up. And if it doesn't clear up, then you'll still stay here. She nodded and looked down again. Did you have a good relationship with him? With Greg? Very much. He was better than me. Braver, more confident. Then, you know why he hid me. Because I was afraid of my mother. Because I was ashamed. No, he sat down next to me. He just wanted to protect you. He knew that our parents had a manic addiction to external glitter. He knew that they would have torn you apart. But not because you were bad, but because you did not fit into their framework. Well, yes, she grinned. No last name, no money, no future. Why would he even? Because he wasn't like them, and not like everyone else. He was real. Her eyes filled with tears, but she turned away, pretending to just look at the dog. I still can't believe that he's gone. Me too. Every day, Nathan added quietly. Especially when I walk into his office. Or get into his car. He was your older brother? For 2 years. But it felt like 20. He was always ahead. In thoughts, in actions. And then suddenly, he disappeared. I knew he was drinking. I tried, begged him to stop. He pushed me away from himself too. I was angry, and then I just didn't have time to forgive. They were silent for a long time. I think he left you to me, she said suddenly. He looked at her. In what sense? So that you wouldn't be alone. So that I wouldn't be alone. So that someone would continue. Because I don't feel capable of coping on my own anymore. He took her hand. I'm here, and I won't leave. Later they were sitting in the kitchen. She was making an omelet, and he was putting out the cups. You cook well. I lived on pasta for many years. You have to be able to improvise. Is this all you have? There was a small room in a shelter, then a bed in a flop house, then the street. Why didn't you ask for help? Because in this country they don't trust the poor, especially pregnant women, especially if you don't have a last name. And now you have a roof, and a name, and a chance. She looked at him, slowly, as if trying to believe. I feel like I'm interfering with you, your life, your future. No, Elena, you changed it. For the first time in many years I breathe not business, but air. He reached out and brushed a strand of hair from her cheek. You will stay here, and together we will think about how to tell my parents everything, without a scandal. She nodded, pursing her lips. I'm scared. Me too, but I'm with you. He didn't know what would happen tomorrow, but he knew this evening was the beginning of something real, and for the first time in a long time, something very right. Did you bring everything again? Elena opened the door, staring at the paper bags in his hands. Don't worry, I didn't go broke, Nathan chuckled as he walked inside. Prenatal food, vitamins, warm socks, and, food for Belyash. I almost forgot. You're allergic to dogs. Did you know that? I'm allergic to lies, Elena, and you're the only source of truth here. So, I'll put up with it. She sighed as she took the bags. You don't have to do all this. I definitely do. If not for you, then at least for him. He nodded at her stomach. Gregory would want this. You talk about him often. Because I still don't believe that he's not here. And when you're near, he's closer. She was silent. Then she put the bags on the table and turned to him. I'm embarrassed, Nate. You come every day like you have no other life. I don't have any. Just work, numbers, exhalations. And here, there's silence. And you. I'm not asking you to be a savior. I'm not saving. I'm just here. And if you allow me, I want to be here longer. She looked away and stroked her stomach. Sometimes I feel like I don't deserve all this. Why? Because no one needed me until this moment. Because I got used to being alone. Then let's change our habits. He came closer and carefully touched her hand. I'm not asking for love. I just want you to not be afraid. Not of the day. Not of the night. Not of the future. It's too warm, too right. I don't know how to get used to it. Then don't rush. Just breathe nearby. The next day he arrived earlier than usual. She met him in the garden, wearing the light shirt he had once left here in the old house. It made her look almost homely. You look different, he said. I feel different. In a good way? In the new one. He smiled. I have an idea. Do you want to go out somewhere tonight? Where? A quiet cafe. Just you, me, and tea. No puppies, no worries. Can you do it? I will try. When they arrived, the cafe was almost empty. Cozy light, soft music, the aroma of baking. I haven't been to a place like this for over a year, she admitted, looking at the window. Then consider this a restoration of justice. We'll start with almond cookies. And you're sure I won't be kicked out for my appearance? You look like a woman who is hard to forget, not like someone who should be driven away. You know how to speak beautifully. Because for the first time in my life, I'm speaking honestly. They sat at a table by the window. Her fingers touched the cup. He looked at them, thin, strong, stubborn. Elena, I want to ask you something, he said in a hushed voice. Why didn't you show up after he died? Because I was scared. I thought you hated me. And now? Now I see in your eyes not anger, and that's even more frightening. Why? Because suddenly it's true, and suddenly, I'll want to stay. He took her hand, not letting go of her gaze. Stay, not for Greg, not for the baby, for yourself. I'm not sure I know what it's like to live without hiding. I'll show you. They returned to the house late in the evening. Her hair smelled of the wind. He felt how somewhere inside everything began to sound different. Thank you, she said quietly at the door. For what? For the evening, for the light, for allowing me to feel like I exist again. He smiled. Welcome back to life. She looked at him for a long moment. Then she stepped forward and hugged him, carefully, as if afraid to destroy him. He held her tightly to himself, for the first time not thinking about the past or the future, only about the warmth of her breath against his shoulder. And how much can start with one simple stay? Are you sure your parents won't suspect anything? Elena adjusted the collar of his shirt, looking in the mirror. They've probably noticed that you disappear a lot. My mom would have noticed even if I blinked at the wrong rate. Nathan chuckled. But I haven't told her yet. Why? Because I don't want them to interfere. Because I want to be with you not by someone's permission, but by my own desire. You say that as if I actually have a right to something. And you really do. She looked away. But you understand that sooner or later everything will come out. We can't hide in this house forever, like in a shelter. Then we'll be ready. Ready for what? For them to think I'm just another fortune hunter? Elena, I saw the way your mother looks at me, even in photographs. There is not a single ounce of doubt in her gaze. I am a stranger. She doesn't know you. When she does, everything will change. Or it will only get worse. He came closer and placed his palms on her shoulders. I won't let anyone hurt you. Not them, not myself, not fear. That sounds like a promise. That's the promise. Later that day, he returned to the city. He had an important meeting, but his thoughts kept returning to her. When he came out after the meeting, a message was flashing on his phone screen. Elena, we have guests, your parents. He stopped abruptly, his heart pounding in his chest. Crap. He took off and drove there at such a speed that the guards at the entrance to the dacha barely had time to open the gate. The car braked with a screech of tires. He ran out onto the porch, almost ran into the house and froze. Elena stood in the hallway, hunched over, clutching Belyash to her. The puppy was shaking. Mary Hale stood opposite her, as if carved from marble, and next to her was Thomas, his eyes downcast and trying not to interfere. What's going on here? Nathan asked sharply. His mother turned to him, her voice slow and forceful. Did you really bring a pregnant homeless woman from the street into our house? It's not just anyone. It's Elena. And she lives here? Yes. Are you crazy? No, Mom. I just became human. Don't even think about dramatizing. You don't even know who this child is from. She could have said anything. You don't understand what such women are capable of. I know enough, and I believe her. And you asked yourself why we never heard about her from Gregory? Because he was afraid of you. Because he knew how you would react. Just like now. Mary Hale pursed her lips, then looked at Elena. You planned it all, right? You got attached to one son, and if it didn't work out, you moved on to the second? That's enough, Nathan said coldly. If you can't speak with respect, you shouldn't speak at all. I am your mother. and she is a woman whom I respect, and who carries within herself the memory of Gregory. At that moment, Elena suddenly turned pale and staggered. Nathan caught her. "I'm okay," she whispered. "It's just too much. That's it. Enough." He turned to his parents. "You came unannounced, interrogated her, and scared her. Go away." "We won't leave until you tell us the whole truth," the mother said stubbornly. "Then listen. She is Gregory's fiancée. Yes, she didn't have a ring. Yes, you didn't know about her, because he didn't have time to tell. And now she's here, with a child, and she's staying." Nathan. "No, Dad. Not now. Either you accept her or you leave." Mary Hale looked at her son, not believing her ears. "Do you choose her?" "I choose the heart." Thomas gently touched his wife's shoulder. "Let's go, Mary." "Are you serious? We won't solve this by shouting." They left, slamming the door. Nathan helped Elena to the couch. She was shaking. "I didn't want things to be like this," she whispered. "It's not your fault. But now you're fighting with your family. Because of me." "No, Elena. Because of the truth." He hugged her, carefully, as if she might fall apart. "We'll manage, I promise." She buried her face in his shoulder, allowing herself to cry for real for the first time. Not from fear, from the fact that someone had chosen her after all. "How long until the due date?" Nathan asked, rearranging boxes of baby clothes in the corner of the room. "About a week." Elena sat on the bed holding her stomach. "The doctor says it could start at any moment. Are you afraid?" "Yes. But no longer for myself. I'll be there, all the way." She looked at him and smiled slightly. "You don't have to. You know that." "Stop it. I don't need a commitment. I just want to be. Without the have to." He came up to her, knelt down in front of her, and placed his palms on her knees. "Everything will be fine. We will cope. You, me, and our Belyash. Do you really think we can handle this? We're already coping." At that moment, her phone vibrated. She frowned and opened the message. "Did something happen?" he asked. "A strange letter from a man named Belmont. He asks to meet, says he knows who I am." "Show me." He read the text and quickly scrolled down. It could be fake, but... The name is familiar. The Belmonts are jewelers, a very old dynasty. "What do they want from me? We'll go together. If this is a prank, I'll deal with them myself." 2 days later, they arrived at an old mansion outside the city. An elderly man in an expensive suit and a woman in a long light coat were waiting for them in the hall. "Elena?" she asked, approaching. "Yes, it's me. And you?" "My name is Ekaterina. This is Conrad, my husband. We are your parents. Sorry?" "We've been looking for you our whole lives," the man said softly. "You were with us until you were 3. Then we were forced to hide. It's a long story." "I don't understand. I grew up in an orphanage." "We know. The nanny lost contact with us when she was hiding from those who were trying to blackmail us. We thought that you..." The woman's voice trembled. "That you were dead. Why now? We saw your photo in a magazine, from your wedding, and we realized it was you." "It wasn't a wedding." Elena pressed her lips together. "It was an article about charity. It doesn't matter. We found out. I have no evidence, no documents, no memories. But we do. Your DNA matches ours. We tested it in secret when you were filling out paperwork at the hospital, through the foundation. I'm sorry. We just needed to be sure." Elena was silent. Then, slowly, she whispered, "For so many years I thought that I had no one. But we are here, and we want to be there, if you let us." Nathan squeezed her hand. "It's up to you. I'm with you wherever you go. She looked at both of them. The woman's eyes were the same as hers, and the same tears. I want to get to know you, but slowly, without pressure. As you say, dear, whispered Catherine. We'll wait as long as it takes. A week later, Elena went into labor. It was fast and scary. Nathan was with her, holding her hand, whispering, You can do it, you're strong. You're the bravest. When the baby cried, he cried for the first time. Her son, their son, was born with a loud voice and black hair. Hello, baby, Elena whispered. This is your world. And we will be your home, Nathan added. But a day later, the doctor came. Your son has a heart defect, he said. We need to operate in the next few months. How urgent? Elena barely managed to say. In 6 months maximum, but the queue can be long. Paying for a fee is faster. How many? The number sounded like a gunshot, but Nathan only nodded. Consider it paid. There is one more nuance. We conducted a tissue compatibility analysis. It may be useful in case of an emergency transplant, and the results showed that you are not biologically related to the child. What? Elena turned pale. How so? The doctor threw up his hands. Perhaps there was a mistake in the maternity hospital, but there is a chance that the child... It can't be, she whispered. This is my son. I felt him growing inside me. Nathan walked out into the hallway and leaned against the wall. It felt like the world was shaking under his feet. Later, he sat in the garden, staring at one point. Mary approached quietly. Are you okay? It's not from me. It's not from Gregory. What now? Do you love him less? No, but... Now, I don't know who he is. He's yours, because you chose him, and that's more important than blood. He nodded. Then he stood up and went into the room. I'm staying. With you. With him. Everything else is unimportant. Elena looked at him through her tears and said nothing more. She simply took his hand. A month after the operation, the baby recovered. They named him Leo. Nathan officially adopted him, and then he proposed to Elena. Quietly, simply, in their house by the river. Are you sure? He asked. I'm not afraid anymore, she replied. Belyash was at the wedding, in a bow tie, Leo, in a suit with a small lion on his chest. The parents were standing nearby, and everything was real. Because family is not what's on paper. It's what holds your hand when the whole world is shaking.